All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a good day and a good week. Spring is on the way. Hopefully the sun will be out soon. And we all know that when we have a hot March, we have a really hot diary. Our phones certainly go a bit crazy when we have a sunny March going into April. So there is hope and there's light at the end of the tunnel. February is almost over. It's not been too bad a February, to be honest, but let's hope March will be even better. So I wanted to come in today and do brunch and learn. Okay, so last time I did lunch and learn, and I said we stole that from the veterinary industry. They have a lot of people like sales reps go in, drug reps and stuff like that, and they go into veterinary practices and do lunch and learns. So I thought I've got a client meeting a bit later, so I thought we'd do a bit of brunch and learn today. So I wanted to come in and talk to you about what problem your business solves. So what problem does your business solve for your clients? And I don't know if many people think about their business in this way, but your business is actually there and it's busy and it's thriving because you are actually solving problems for your clients. So we're going to have a look at this and make sure that you understand this and see if we can reframe some of your mindset around pricing and your thoughts around charging for your services and stuff like that. So we're going to be looking at the problems that your business solves, and then probably next week we're going to look at potentially the problems that you have in business. So they're two separate things. So there's what your business is, the problems that your business solves, and then the problems that you have in business. So I just want to make that clear that there's two separate entities to that, and we'll have a look at the problems in your business next week, probably in another lunch and learn or another brunch and learn. So let's have a look at what your problem solves. Now we know that people buy from a business because they have a want or a need. So they either want something or they need something. And this is why your business needs to be solving their problems. So if you start thinking about the pet grooming industry and what you do as a living, you might just think, well, you know, I help owners to make their dogs look good, make their dogs smell good, and I cut the dog's nails because they need doing. But actually, we need to dive into a lot deeper. And when we dive into a lot deeper, and look at and start examining the problems that dog grooming that pet owners have, these are going to be called your pain points. So these are people's pain points. Okay, so these are the things that when you're doing your social media posts, you want to start looking at people's pain points. What are their pain points around their pet? So you could argue, and many people do, and argue that a Labrador, what are the problems that a Labrador has when it comes to grooming? So is grooming a Labrador essential? You could argue that it's not, but there's a want around it, isn't there? People want their problems to be solved. They want less hair on the carpet or less hair in the house. They don't want that Labrador being really smelly at Christmas when they've got family coming round, and you've got that solution, haven't you? So their pain points when you look at a Labrador are going to be completely different to when you look at a cockapoo or a poodle and things like that. But all I want to get over to you is the fact that we do many services in our business, and we just think, well, okay, it's just a nail trim. It's just a nail trim. And we do hear that, don't we? We just say, well, it's just a nail trim. It takes 5 minutes. But actually, let's think about nails, and let's think about dog and cat's nails and how vital that service is that you're providing to that pet and to that client. So what kind of things, when you got a Jack Russell or a dog, and you've maybe got wooden floors, and the owner is listening to that dog tippy-tapping across the wooden floors, or when it's out on a walk, you can hear the nails hitting the floor. The nails need trimming. So the owner has got a problem, haven't they? The owner has got a problem. Now, they may be able to do that themselves. So they've got a problem that they can do. And, We certainly did it over lockdown. They've got a problem that they can do, a problem that they can solve. They can go out onto Amazon, they can buy some nail trimmers, and they can do it themselves, can't they? And God, wow, they've had all of lockdown to learn. There's so much out there on YouTube to teach people how to do their own dog's nails, but they will either be too scared, they'll either be too worried, or they'll try it and the dog will pull away, the dog will be really fussy, or the dog will refuse to have the nails done, or they might actually trim one of the nails and hit the quick, and all of a sudden they've got this tiny pool of blood on the floor, on their carpet, and they're really scared and they're phoning the vets to get like the whole leg bandaged up. So they've got a problem because the toenails are long and the toenails need trimming. And we know that if we don't trim these toenails, that problem will get worse, won't it? The problem will get worse. The toenails could start growing into their pads, especially with cats, and we see that quite regularly. Or the actual structure of the foot can start to become damaged because the toenails are too long. So it's a problem, okay? And you've got the solution to that problem. Now they can do it themselves, can't they? They can do it themselves. And there's so much education out there. There's so many tools out there that they can buy to go out and do that. But what they might try that and then just think, no, this is not for me. So this is where you have the solution, don't you? So you have the solution to their problem. Now, we hear it quite a lot, and I talk to many pet groomers that go, you've been trained to do nail trimming in your salons, in your training, and, for some of you, it is like bish, bash, bosh, a couple of minutes, you know how to hold the dog, you know how to hold the nail trimmers, solutions to get a difficult dog round to having their nails trimmed, and you know how to... You're the expert, aren't you? You do it every day. It's a nail trim. I do it every day. It's not a problem. It's 5 minutes. Okay, so for us, it's not a problem. Some dogs are a problem, but for us as pet groomers, or for you as a pet groomer, it's not a problem at all. It's a very simple solution to the problem that the owner has, and you can get on and get it done really quickly. And in fact, we had an email yesterday come in from an owner saying, please, could you do my dog's toenails? We've taken it to the vets, but the vets can't do it. And I was like, who do you call? When I was in the police, when I was on the firearms unit, if we couldn't solve a problem, if we couldn't deal with something, who do we call then? So, the vets were struggling with this dog's nails and sent the dog away with the nails half done, saying that they couldn't do it. So we're now having to provide that solution to the owner. So we'll get the dog in and make sure that we can get it done and make sure there's a satisfactory service at the end of it. So again, we have that solution, don't we? We have that solution to the owner's problem. So what we then hear is, okay, a nail trim is like 5 minutes, or it's a couple of minutes. It's really easy. It's something that we do all the time, and we're going to charge £5 for it. Or maybe we're going to do it for free. As like a good bit of customer service, or we think that we're doing a good bit of customer service. But you've got to realize that if you are offering this service, you are solving a really big problem for your customer. If they can't get those dogs' nails trimmed, what's going to happen to the dog's foot? What's going to happen to the structure of that dog's foot if it carries on walking around on long nails? Is that dew claw going to start growing into that pad and cause an infection and cause more issues with the dog's toes? So you have got that solution, and now you need to start thinking, okay, so I've had my training, I've invested my time, I've invested my money into equipment. Now, why am I not charging a good price for solving that problem? So let's come away from time, charging. I know I can't charge more than £5 for 5 minutes worth of time because I feel as though I'm ripping them off. Well, let's reframe that and let's start thinking about we are actually solving that problem. And what would happen if we can't solve that problem? So when you start thinking about a nail trim, I think nail trimming is probably quite a good analogy. A lot of people feel guilty about charging like low amounts of money for very quick jobs because They charge it based on time, and they charge it based on how they would feel about it. But what you're not thinking about is the amount of training, the amount of experience, the amount of time and money that you've invested in solving that problem for their owner. So when that owner comes along and they've got a problem, and you've got that solution that is quick, simple, easy, great customer service, just pop down to the salon. We can sort out your dog's nails straight away. And to solve that problem for you, it's going to be an investment of 15 or 20 pounds to have your dog's nails trimmed. Boom. Here's my card machine. Thank you very much. The dog's coming out, has a little spray of cologne. It's coming out smelling really nice with really neat, nice looking toenails. And the owner has no longer got a problem. Okay. So that owner has a need, don't they? They need to have that problem sorted out. They need to have that problem solved, because if they don't get that dog's nails trimmed or that cat's nails trimmed, they're going to have an even bigger problem, which is going to cost them even more money when they have to go to the vets to sort out infections and ingrown toenails and stuff like that. And we see it quite a lot with cats. We had a cat owner come in the other day, and we literally picked out probably 3 or 4 ingrown toenails that had grown into the pads. We resolved it, we solved the problem, and the lady was like, well, I had the cat's nails cut last year. It's like, how often do you cut your toenails or your fingernails? So they've got a problem. So people come and use your business because they have a want or they have a need. Okay. So let's think about, that's toenails as one example. So let's think about the lovely, most popular dog that we all love, and we all want in our salon, and that's the cockapoo. Okay. Start thinking to yourself, what are the pain points around a cockapoo? If you are a cockapoo owner, and I know some of you do actually love to have a cockapoo, and the first groomer to actually be the cockapoo specialist will probably end up paying their mortgage off quite quickly, because there's just an abundance of these dogs, isn't there, out there? What kind of pain points now? So we're going to change that language up. We're going to change it to pain points instead of problems. What kind of problems or pain points do you think cockapoo owners have? Start thinking about it. So when you've got a cockapoo owner on the phone, you can start asking them relevant questions about their dog. And not only will it start making you sound, well, I know that you're professional, but because you take that training and that knowledge for granted, because you've been doing it for years, you don't do yourself a service by showing your customers and potential new clients the knowledge that you actually have. So you can start really diving into your owner's pain points. So when you've got a new inquiry with a cockapoo on the phone, you can start asking about those pain points. Are you struggling to brush your dog? Do you actually even brush your dog? Does your dog go into the sea? Does it go into rivers? Is it like, do you get the dog wet? Do you get and then dry it with a towel? Can you run your hand through the dog's coat and feel that it's knotted and matted and pelted? You can start highlighting these pain points for the people. And then this is going to help you to charge higher prices, because one, you're actually showing that you understand the breed, you understand what the owner's going through and the owner's issues, what the owner needs. Okay. And then you can start really digging and pressing on those pain points. If we don't get you booked in soon, then the matting's going to get worse. We're going to have to take that coat shorter, and you can start exploring those pain points and really sort of digging into them. And then you can start testing that higher price, because by the time you've spoken to the owner and you've given all that knowledge and all that experience, and you've really dug into their pain points, you can then start trying those higher prices for the cockapoos, £60, £70, £80. These dogs need a lot of help, and the owners have a need, don't they? Again, it's not a want this time. It's not a want this time, because if they don't sort this cockapoo out, it is going to get worse and worse and worse. So they have a need for your services. Okay. And yes, the owner can do it themselves. So they can do it themselves. But we know, don't we, from experience, they don't. They've had all this time over lockdown. There's videos out there. There's dog groomers sharing all the tips of the trades and everything like that, but they don't do it themselves. They need a professional person with that knowledge and that experience to come and solve that problem that they've got with their cockapoo. And that's the matted fur. And we know that, if we don't resolve this matting on this cockapoo, then it's going to start struggling to walk. We've had dogs come in where their penises are matted to their bellies. We've even had a stud dog where its penis is matted to its belly. That's not going to work, is it? That's going to be a big problem when they stud that dog out and the dog is not performing because, it's all matted up to its belly. So that's not going to work. That's a big problem for that breeder. So yes, again, the owner can do it themselves. However, you have invested in that time, you have invested in your training, you have invested in the equipment, you have invested in extra learning, you have invested in yourself and putting yourself out there as a business owner. So you're going to be charging good money to solve that problem. Okay. Now you're going to be saying to me, well, yes, the cockapoo owners understand that they have a problem, but they're going to shop around and they're going to find someone cheaper to solve that problem. Well, that's where we as business owners need to learn how to sell our services. We need to learn how to market our services well. We need to learn how to sell our services well so that people's heads do not turn elsewhere and go elsewhere and look at other pet groomers out there. Everyone everywhere is flooded with pet groomers. It's a very thriving business, isn't it? But we need to make sure that we are on point with our branding, we're on point with our marketing, we're on point with our customer service, and that prevents people from looking elsewhere. And so you get the inquiry, you follow up the inquiry, you dig into their pain points, you speak to them on the phone, and you sell the service to them. And you make sure that they realize they've got a problem that they need to solve, and you've got the solution for that. And then it comes down to, a price to trade your time for money, and that's for you to resolve, making sure that it meets your overheads, what you want to earn, etc., etc. So hopefully, you start to understand, and hopefully I'm starting to reframe the way that you look at your business. We don't go out there and we just do dog grooming. We go out there and we do problem solving. Okay, so people buy because they have a want or they have a need. A smelly Labrador that they want to smell nice, they want to have a really nice glossy coat, they want to impress their neighbors or their family or their mother-in-law or the shoot that they're going out on. They want that Labrador gleaming and shiny and looking really, really healthy. And that's where you get your Labrador owners coming in, because they have a want. We've all got baths at home, hopefully. Although we don't have a bath and a shower over it anymore, so that's a bit of a pain. But we could all bath our Labradors at home, or the Labrador owners could bath their Labs at home, but they don't want to. Okay, we've got these Labradors that are shedding hair, they're smelly, they love going into ponds, well, mine certainly do, and they stink. Okay, so we have a problem that we want to be solved. So that's the sort of Labrador problem. Okay, but then the cockapoos have got a problem that they need to be solved, because they're poodle crosses, they've got the poodle hair, that they get knotted, they get matted, and you can list off all the issues that you see with cockapoos. But because we do it every day, we get lost in it and we don't realize that we're providing that solution to people's problems. So start thinking about the pain points that people have when they're starting to contact you and make inquiries, and start digging into those pain points. Start pressing on those pain points. What would it be like? You're trying to sell a mud D-shed. What would it be like if your Labrador no longer loses all of its hair all over your carpet? Are you gonna, or when you got that Labrador in the bath and it's covering the bath in all its hair, it's like your bath or mine sort of thing. Where do you want that hair to be going? So start digging into those pain points. And not only that, okay, so when you're doing the actual dog grooming, you're solving those problems. There are other things that you're starting to pick up as well. So these are like the added extras. So these are all the lumps and bumps that you're going to be finding on those pets. The ability to perhaps weigh them so that when they come in, you can record the weight. Parasites that you're going to be finding on them, the ticks, the fleas. Again, an owner might have a problem where they keep finding fleas indoors, and you find it on their cat. And you can start out talking to them about the solution. Great customer service, isn't it? Or maybe now that and some people don't like frontline or fit for nil, but now it's been deregulated, you keep a small stock of frontline so that you can upsell it to them. As long as it's got that active ingredient in it, it's going to work, hopefully. But you have that ability to solve that problem for your customer. So the whole what I wanted to cover on this sort of brunch and learn is just to reframe your mindset a little bit, where people have they come in and they say, right, I'm just doing a quick nail trim. It's a 5-minute job. I can't charge more than £5 for that, or I give it away for free. You're glossing over the bigger points, the bigger issues here, because if you didn't do that nail trim, then that dog's going to have a bigger problem, and that's the problem that you're solving. So they're actually paying you to solve that problem. Same for your cockapoos, and any breed you can probably list that comes to your door, you can list probably at least 5 problems that you find on that dog that you solve for those owners. So I want you to start thinking a little bit about how your business solves those problems, and then use that in your marketing. Go out there and use that in your social media, in your TikToks and your videos. Talk about the problems that you solve, so that when you're having that deeper connection with your clients and deeper connection with the potential clients that are sitting in your social media feed or on your website, just checking you out and seeing whether they're going to use your services or not. Dig into their pain points, dig into the problems that they have with their pets, and so that they can understand that what problems need solving and that you've got the solution for them. So hopefully they then come and use your services at a higher price, because you're a problem solver, not always a pet groomer. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you understand that. If you're watching on Facebook, please type in replay. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you're listening on the podcast, then please do subscribe to the podcast and make sure you share it with your groomer friends. And hopefully next week or next time, we'll do a bit of lunch and learn around the problems that you have in business. Take care, everyone. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.